In the beginning, before the world was made, there was only God. He was perfect, powerful, and complete. He needed nothing, yet he chose to create. First, he made the angels, beautiful, powerful beings of light. They worshipped him, served him, and filled heaven with songs of praise. Among them was Lucifer, the most magnificent of all. His name meant morning star, and he shone with the brilliance of God's glory. He led the choirs of heaven, his voice like thunder, his presence like fire. He walked among the fiery stones of heaven, full of wisdom and beauty. Ezekiel 28:12-14. But pride grew in his heart. He wanted to be like God. He led a rebellion against the Almighty, taking a third of the angels with him. Revelation 12:4. For this he was cast out of heaven and became Satan, the enemy of God and mankind. He brought deception, sin, and suffering into the world. But what if that never happened? What if Lucifer never rebelled against God? What if there was no Satan, no war in heaven, no serpent in the garden? Would the world have stayed perfect forever? In this version of the story, Lucifer remains loyal to God. There is no pride in his heart, no desire to take God's throne. Heaven is never divided, and every angel remains in perfect harmony, worshipping their Creator. The universe is at peace. Then, God does something new. He speaks, and out of nothing, the world is formed. He shapes the mountains, fills the oceans, and spreads the stars across the sky. And at the very end, he creates something even greater: people. The first humans, Adam and Eve. The first humans, made in God's image. They are not like the angels. They are flesh and bone, living in a perfect world. They walk in the Garden of Eden, surrounded by beauty, filled with life. They do not know pain, sadness, or fear. They only know God's love. And because Lucifer never rebelled, there is no serpent in the garden. No voice whispering lies, no deception, no temptation. The world remains exactly as God intended, pure, beautiful, and good. For now. At the center of the garden stands a tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God has given Adam and Eve one simple command. You may eat from any tree in the garden, but do not eat from this one. If you do, you will surely die. Genesis 2:16-17. And so far they listen. They live in peace, free from sin. But will it last? Without Satan, there is no one to tempt them. But does that mean they will always obey? If sin doesn't come from an outside enemy, could it still come from within? Adam and Eve walk in the garden, enjoying everything God has given them. The tree stands tall in the middle of the garden. Its branches reach high, and its fruit glows in the sunlight. Adam and Eve walk past it every day. They never touch it. They never even think about it. Until now. Eve slows her steps. She looks up at the fruit, her eyes filled with curiosity. Adam notices and stops beside her. For a moment, they just stand there, staring. Then Eve speaks. Why did God say no? Adam shrugs. I don't know. The garden is quiet. No serpent slithers through the branches. No voice whispers in their ears. The only voice is the one inside their own minds. And for the first time, a new feeling stirs inside them. Curiosity. If you eat from this tree, you will die. But what does that mean? They have never seen death. They don't know what pain is. Everything in their world is good. So why would God keep them from something? Eve steps closer. She reaches out, not to take the fruit, just to touch the leaves. They are soft, smooth, perfect. Maybe we're supposed to eat it later, she says. Adam frowns. No, God said not to. I know, Eve says. But what if he's waiting for the right time? What if one day we're meant to eat it? Adam doesn't answer. He has never questioned God before. But now, a strange feeling spreads through his chest. Doubt. And it didn't come from Satan. It didn't come from an enemy. It came from inside them. Most people believe that if Satan didn't exist, there would be no sin, no evil, no suffering. But this moment changes everything. Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. James 1:14. Temptation doesn't always come from outside. Sometimes it comes from inside. The serpent didn't plant the first question in Eve's mind. Her own heart did. Maybe they walk away this time. Maybe they push the thought aside. But the thought doesn't disappear. It lingers. It grows. And one day, one of them will reach for the fruit. When that happens, everything will change. Now Eve stands at the tree again. She doesn't remember deciding to stop here, but now she's staring at the fruit. The thought won't go away. She reaches out and runs her fingers over its smooth skin. It looks like every other fruit in the garden. Except this is the one they can't have. Behind her, Adam steps closer. "Eve," he says, his voice unsure. She doesn't turn around. "It's just fruit, Adam. God said not to eat it," she exhales. "But why? What if we're supposed to? What if it's good for us?" Adam doesn't answer. He's staring at it too. No serpent. No voice whispering in their ears. Just the question inside their own minds. They both know what God said. But the longer they stand there, the smaller that warning feels. But then Eve lifts the fruit. She hesitates, but only for a moment. Then she bites. The taste is sweet, better than anything she's ever eaten. She swallows and waits. Nothing happens. The sky is still blue. The garden is still peaceful. She looks at Adam and holds out the fruit. "It's good." Adam hesitates. His heart pounds. But he reaches out, and he eats. The world is the same, but something feels different. A strange feeling creeps over them. The air feels colder. Their skin prickles. Adam looks at Eve. She looks at him. And for the first time they feel naked. Before, it never mattered. But now they feel exposed, vulnerable. Something heavy settles in their hearts. A new feeling. Shame. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. But deep down, they know the truth. They have made a mistake. And now everything will change. Adam and Eve don't know what to do. They stand frozen under the tree, their hearts pounding. The garden looks the same, but something inside them has changed. They feel naked, exposed, ashamed. Before, they never thought about their bodies. Now they feel the need to hide. But from who? A breeze moves through the trees, and suddenly they hear something. Footsteps. God is coming. Fear grips them. Fear. A feeling they have never known before. Without thinking, they run. They hide behind the trees, crouching low, as if they can escape God's eyes. But they can't. Far above in heaven, Lucifer leads the angels in worship. His voice echoes through the halls of heaven, joined by thousands of others, praising the God who made them. He is still the morning star, still full of light. There was never a war, never a rebellion, no darkness, no demons, no kingdom of evil. But something feels off. He doesn't know why, but he senses that something is happening on earth. A shift, a change. Something has gone wrong. He doesn't know that Adam and Eve have fallen. That sin has entered the world. And unlike the real story, he is not there to witness it. Back in the garden, Adam and Eve are still hiding when they hear God's voice. "Where are you?" Slowly, they step out, their heads down. They can't even look at him. God already knows what happened. He looks at his children, the ones he made in his own image, the ones he gave everything to, and he sees their shame. He sees how sin has changed them. And now he must decide what to do next. Because in the real story, Satan is punished along with Adam and Eve. He is cursed, and his future is set. He will forever be the enemy of mankind. But in this version, there is no Satan to punish. The only ones to blame are Adam and Eve themselves. There is no serpent, no deceiver, no enemy working behind the scenes, just two humans who made a choice. But does that make a difference? Would their punishment be the same? Would God still cast them out? The answer is coming. And no matter what, the world will never be the same again. Adam and Eve stand before God. They don't speak. What could they say? They made their choice. God looks at them, and they feel the weight of his presence. Before, they felt safe with him. Now, for the first time, they feel afraid. Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from? Adam lowers his head. His voice is quiet. The woman gave it to me, and I ate. Eve swallows hard. I wanted to understand. I thought it would be good. There is no serpent to blame, no deceiver to point to, only themselves. And now, they must face the consequences. In the real story, God curses Satan first. He tells him, "Cursed are you. You will crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." Genesis 3:14-15. But in this world, Satan never rebelled. There is no serpent to curse, no war between good and evil. The only ones left to punish are Adam and Eve. God speaks again. His voice is steady. "Because you have done this." He turns to Eve. "You will suffer in childbirth. The life you bring into the world will come through pain." Then he looks at Adam. "The ground will no longer give its fruit easily. You will work hard, and only through sweat and struggle will you survive." Adam swallows. Eve trembles. But then comes the worst part. "You must leave the garden." Adam lifts his head. His breath catches. "No, please." Eve grips his arm. Her heart is racing. This was their home. This was the place where they walked with God, where everything was perfect. But they have broken it, and now they cannot stay. But far above, Lucifer is still in heaven. He still worships. He still shines like a morning star. He still sings praises to the God who made him. He never fell. He never became the enemy. But something is different. He sees the world below and senses that it is no longer perfect. He watches Adam and Eve leave the garden, their heads down, their bodies covered in clothes made of animal skins. And for the first time, Lucifer sees sin. Not because he caused it, not because he tricked them, but because they chose it on their own. The world is broken. But without Satan, it is not a world at war. There are no demons working behind the scenes, no enemy whispering in the ears of kings, no dark kingdom trying to destroy God's people. But sin is still there. And without Satan, sin becomes something even harder to face because there is no one to blame now, something that comes from the human heart itself. And if there is no enemy to fight, then who will save them from themselves? The struggle without an enemy. Without Satan, history moves differently. Cain still kills Abel, not because of demonic influence, but because of jealousy and pride. Nations still rise and fall, not through satanic schemes, but through greed and selfishness. Humanity still sins, but they have no one else to blame. Would they even recognize their need for a savior? Without Satan ruling a kingdom of darkness, Jesus' mission would be different. He would still come, but not as a warrior against the devil. Instead, he would come to fight the sin inside every human heart. Because in the end, the real enemy was never just Satan. It was always our own disobedience. So, what do we learn from this? Even in a world without Satan, sin still happens, because sin was never just about him. It was about the choice to trust God or to turn away. And that's a choice we still face today. So if you haven't yet accepted God in your life, there's still time. Repentance can transform your future, erasing sadness and loneliness and providing all that you need. Take a moment, find a quiet place, and talk to God. He listens. If you found inspiration in this story, make sure to hit that notification bell so you won't miss a new video, and I will see you in the next one.